So now you've got your $250 million.
Yeah.
You've got your $4 billion valuation. What do you need to do in the next 18 months to not squander this opportunity?
Well, I think one of the new things, talk about more stuff coming onto your plate. So one thing we're excited about is this deal that we recently announced with HTC, right?
What does that explain that?
Where Dropbox is going to be baked into tens of millions of phones, and not just an icon on the handset, but a really sort of seamless experience where if you take a picture, it'll be everywhere.
Android phones or
Android phones? Okay. Yeah. And the way we think about it is there's all this other, there's all these new connected devices, and there's ever increasing need to kind of simplify the chaos. And all these new things would be better if you had all of your important stuff in one place, and you can plug those things into that, right? So, it's sort of like email or maps on your phone. You go from no phone has those things to like now you can't imagine any phone without those things is like defective.
Right.
Well, expectations are going to change overnight, and our users say, hey, like getting to my stuff, I feel the same way, right? Where, of course I have all my stuff with me. Of course it's taken care of. Of course I don't worry if I could like throw my laptop into a river and just pick up another one and pick up where I left off.
Right.
And so delivering on that at a much bigger scale, working with great partners like HTC and other folks and developers to help put Dropbox where Dropbox can help make all these other products better, and then all just the classic challenges of scaling a company, right? We've tripled this year in terms of headcount, or well, we will have tripled.
And how many people do you have now?
We have about 70, 75.
70.
Yeah.
And how many you think will happen in a year?
Probably on the order of a couple hundred.
So, to me, the biggest sort of challenge for you is, or the biggest question in my mind, is whether you're really sort of the kind of the future of storage, right? The future of where all my stuff is kept, or whether this is a transitionary period where, yeah, I have a lot of stuff on my devices and I want to access them everywhere, but slowly, the most important stuff I'm not even storing on my devices in the first place. Like I'm taking an Instagram photo, I'm taking a photo and uploading it to the cloud, to Instagram or to Twitter photos or whatever, right? So increasingly, everything is already on the cloud or it's replicated in the cloud, and I can always get it, right? So to the extent that that everything is going to be there anyway, 5 years from now, will I even need Dropbox? Or is Dropbox going to be so different that it'll be that central place where everything is backed up?
I mean, that's something we think about a lot, right? And when, in the same way that for most people, like if you take a picture on a phone, it's stuck on the phone. If you upload your photos to some service, it's for all intents and purposes stuck in that service, right? And you might want to take your Instagram photos and put them on Facebook, or I know they have functionality to do that, but the point is, we can help you. You get stuff out of each of those little silos or little boxes and put them all in one place, so that all that content can be more useful to you, and we can help you share it, and we can help you, see it on your iPad or see it on your TV.
Can you do that today?
So we have with both our API, which is sort of in the early stages right now, and we're going to be investing a ton more into that. That lets app developers plug in to your Dropbox, and the reason that's important is it's kind of like for the same reason there are little Facebook buttons everywhere across the webs, because that's where your friends are. Where in 18 months you see little Dropbox buttons everywhere, whether it's on the web or in a Best Buy or a Fry's, and if it's on your camera, it means you take a picture and it's everywhere you want it to be.
Right. Well, people talk about data liberation and not having their data, and I don't think it's so much the small apps. It's more the big social networks. It's Twitter and it's Facebook and and so forth. And on Facebook, right, you can take your data out, but it's not really in a very usable way.
Sure.
I mean, it would be great if and that's not necessarily something that Facebook wouldn't necessarily put a Dropbox box, in there. I mean, couldn't you make it easy for me to take out all my photos and all of my data from Facebook and always have it somewhere, or even Twitter, where I can't even search, beyond a certain point. I can't even find old tweets or old DMs.
Yeah.
If there was a way for me to constantly just store my stream somewhere, so I could always have access to it, right?
Yeah, and so there are companies that are taking on that particular problem. And I don't know if we're probably not going to build something like that for all your internet services, but that's exactly the kind of thing where an API developer or a service like Backupify, which does some of the things that will help you archive your stuff in each of these social services, could save that data on Dropbox, and enable you to have that one place where you can keep everything and just know that it'll be taken care of.
If you were applying to Y Combinator today, totally with you can't do Dropbox.
Yeah.
What idea would you apply with?
It's an interesting question. I think the way I look at the world is just there are so many things that, and primarily for Dropbox, but beyond that, is there's just so many things that are broken. That people sort of problems hidden in plain sight, right? Most people hate their email, so that's an example of. I think there are some things you can do from a product standpoint because all of these apps and sort of just the world has evolved in this way where all this stuff is sort of shoehorned into email in a way that email wasn't designed for. So that's an example of something where I think you could reimagine email and do some pretty interesting things on the product side. So that's one idea I might